Alright, hey, what's up everybody? I'm gonna make this video pretty quick, just it probably won't be quick, but it's a bit of a build guide for this character I've been playing. I kind of made it up on my own. I mean, maybe it probably exists somewhere. I haven't looked, but I just did it. Like, it's something I'd been thinking about for a while, but I finally, like, had the balls to actually play it. The basic core of the character is Scion Raider with Elementalist. Raider for frenzy charges, and then Elementalist because I wanted to use a Windripper, and I knew that going into it, and it gives me generic damage pen and reflect and herald and all that good stuff. This is really good for the kind of character. So yeah, I didn't expect this to go the way it did, but yeah, I've been wanting to make a Raider Scion for a really long time because I felt like the Raider node on the Scion was like really strong. I just didn't know how I wanted to use it properly. So this is what the tree looks like. I don't have a path building because it crashed, and it keeps crashing, and I forget to save, so I'm just leaving it like that and ignoring it. So, things to note, I have these jewels to balance my resistances, so I can use a Wise Oak on Cold and Lightning. This is a Resolute Techniques build. LE pen, and it's also a freeze build is the main goal. I wanted to maximize the quantity on Windripper, so I wanted to focus on getting freezes off and then freeze explosions from Herald of Ice. So life, gotta fill out the life wheel there, gonna fill out life, only 3600 life. Hard, because with my build I have almost no flat life, but still I need to fill stuff out. It's acro build with phase acro for line of defense. It's a pierce build, taking this +2 pierce here. I don't think the extra pierce is necessary, but if you think it is, you can take it. Frenzy charge. This build would benefit from a +1 to frenzy charge pretty immensely, honestly. So those are the interesting things going on with the tree. You can kind of just like look at the whole thing here and see where I was going with it. Yeah, here's more freeze chance. So originally I was like, I want to freeze, but I hate building crit. Can I do a non-crit freeze build? Well, let me see what's on the tree. There's only 15% chance to freeze, and I was like, well, maybe if I just shoot a lot with ice damage, it'll get freezes, but it seemed unreliable. So as I was leveling the character, I was like, oh yeah, there's an elemental proliferation gem. But aren't I trolling by not putting it like a damage gem in instead? There's got to be another way around this thing than having to use this gem. I almost felt like this gem was just like a placeholder until you can make your build work. It turns out, after playing with it, this gem's fucking ridiculous, especially if you're going like like the build that I'm doing where I'm just kind of trying to freeze and shock stuff, but I'm not going crit chance. This gem's fucking crazy, and the proliferation is huge. Not only does it just make it really easy to get my status ailments on, but once I get one status ailment on, it'll just spread to everything, and I don't have to care about anything at all. So I could even do it with like 5% chance. This gem would still be worth it. And then it works super well for freeze, because freeze, everything gets frozen and nothing hits me anymore. So having such a low life pool and having this gem, it actually is giving me an extra line of defense and offense and enabling the item quantity and rarity from my bow. So this gem has been fucking killer. Never expected it to perform so well. I have Ice Bite in for freeze chance. This ended up being, I didn't know what to do with this final slot. I'll just say this is Mirage Archer, GMP, and Wed. Very basic on Tornado Shot. But Ice Bite was like, I didn't know what I was going to put in that gem slot, and Ice Bite filled it in super perfectly. Frenzy Charge, cold damage, which means I'm focusing more on cold damage than lightning. Freeze chance, yeah, perfect for the build. So, interesting items. That was like the interesting stuff in the passive tree. Interesting items, kind of build defining. I would say the Thief's Torment Ring for sustain. It also gives you quantity and all res. And then the Windripper. These are the most build defining items on the entire thing. Next, I would say the Hiri's Demise is fucking amazing. Gave me so much damage with this kind of build, especially since I'm a Scion and I just have so much of all the stats. It basically 4700 to 6700. It works like a Wed. Wed is definitely more valuable, but this is like 40 to 50% more damage, something like that. This is huge. Goldworms, quantity. Thunder Fist, generic damage. Yeah, so it's in order. It's like Windripper, Thief's Torment, Hiri's Demise, and then I'd probably say the chest. This chest I've been also testing. I'll talk a sec about it. Ideally, I want a Comb's Heart, but this is super cheap. It's like 1 Chaos. And having the 20% physical and fire, I thought, hey, if I can get max cold res, they'll have double value of reduction. And I wanted to test out to see how it works. I think it's good. I don't think it's like the best ever, but in terms of the fact that it's like 1 Chaos, and if you're willing to run a Purity of Ice, which I am, I do think that it's worth it. I think that it's really underrated. I think that it's extremely powerful. So, yeah, so boom, 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 and then I guess Goldworms and then Thunderfist, Devotos are equal. Thunderfist is literally just for the lightning damage and attack speed, and then Devotos is just a nice filler generic unique. Because of Thief's Torment and using all of these uniques, I basically have no flat life, and I'm only getting it from this really nice belt and this necklace, which is not as nice, but it's okay. So, weaknesses, low life pool. Other weakness will be boss damage because non-crit and not a huge amount of Ellie Pen. It's just like the damage isn't getting me to the point where I'm able to shit on bosses. I don't have any kind of boss killing like setup or mechanic. It's no barrage, no crit, no poison, none of that shit. Yeah, it's mainly a clear farming build. So Flasks, Wise Oak, and Atziri Wise Oak because I'm doing high lightning and cold, so I balance the resistances. And yeah, this character has been fucking surprising. I didn't expect it to do as well as it did for what I wanted it to do. Let me get a map here really quick because I want to show what it looks like on a gorge. Let me do this. Is that the command? Yeah, it is. So I'm going to load up this gorge, and I'm just going to show you how it plays. I'm going to kind of cut to the chase, and then I'll talk while I'm in there. So Reflect and Ellie damage. I won't be able to kill the boss, so I'm just going to skip that. But I'm Reflect immune. Point blank, yeah, that works. I am Reflect immune because of the Elementalist node here, which is actually super fucking nice. I wasn't thinking about that when I was planning out the build, but it ended up being like really nice. So, oh, I didn't even talk about this. Let me talk about this really quick. I'm using both my Heralds in Item Rarity and Culling Strike just for the Culling Strike actually works on bosses if they have ads. It actually culls them. But mainly, or the Thunder will, but the Item Rarity is the main thing. I wanted to get a little bit more magic find in here since I'm not using double Ventors. I thought this might be a nice little boost. It's been working out really well. It's hard to tell when it's working, just from the nature of killing stuff. I can't tell what's being killed by what, but I imagine that it's heavily increasing my magic find. So that's the other like kind of cool thing I was doing with this character. Wrong way, I figured. I've actually never seen that in a Gorge map, that line. And since I'm not doing like, this is like only level 4, I haven't done like up to 10 maps or whatever, tier 10, I'm not getting like, I'm getting a bunch of basic currency. I actually have so many fucking jewelers, it's ridiculous. So the idea is very basic. It's kind of self-explanatory. You get up your frenzy charges from Ice Bite. You could use Blood Rage if you don't want to use Ice Bite. And then you just run through the fucking map like crazy. I reset my EXP just to show at level 84 what I'm going to be getting. And I'm going to be running through this pretty quickly. I don't really care if I miss mobs. So, and as you can tell, I play with no sound. I should also say, for some reason people are wondering, the Herald effects are the Automaton Herald effects. I have 2 of them, one for the lightning, one for the ice. So that's why my Herald of Ice looks cool and weird. Kind of 50-50 on it. I've kind of gotten used to it, but I remember seeing it on like Mathil's stream and I didn't really like it that much. So, cool, 5 link. Fucking useful, huh? Yeah. So this build farms like really hard. Really hard. If you can scale the damage high enough, you could just do really high tier maps and just, I don't even know, breeze through everything. It's fast, it's quick, it's kind of one-tap style. Yeah, so that's basically the map. I did 90k on a gorge. It's basically, we could call it 100k. The boss damage is where there's going to be a lot of weaknesses. Hey, that was the first time I've actually done that, and you'll see that here. Actually, this guy's kind of getting wrecked, but normally the boss damage is really bad. So, alright, there we go. That was the map. I do want to show one other thing really quick, which is I want to show Peninsula. Where is that? Yeah, I want to show Peninsula really quick. Let me just sell these. So, I will do this for the video, corrupt it. Wow, I actually got it! Right in the video, too. That's hilarious. I wonder how much that is. I'll check later. That's so funny. Is this a good map? I don't want to do Beyond. I'll just cast it. Yeah, fuck it. Alright, so I want to show off this peninsula really quick. You can see my... Like, I have, like, no chaos and all this stuff, but I have a shit ton of things on this side just from the magic find. I figure if I get into the higher maps, then I'm just going to start filling up in here. Overall, the Windripper stuff, definitely worth 2 exalts for the Windripper. Yeah, I didn't buy it. I actually found it, like, a while ago. I just didn't realize that I had it, and then I decided to make a character with it, so... that turned out pretty funny. Also, you get a lot of shitty uniques with this kind of build. I think it's probably the rarity that's doing it. I don't really know. I have a bleed flask and my life flask. I didn't go over this shit like super thoroughly, but it should make sense. If you have any like more questions, in-depth stuff, just ask. I'll respond to it in the comments. I really just wanted this to be like more of a showcase. So this is Ellie Prolif. This is Ellie Prolif is what this is. And this is going to be freeze. So I want him to spawn his little golems. And then I'm going to show you how you can freeze bosses with like non-crit. Yep, there you go. So the little guys get frozen and the Ellie Prolif gem makes it so that he gets frozen as well. And it's basically just going to happen forever. Because the little guys have such little health in this encounter, they get frozen really easily. So yeah. That's, I think that's all the mechanics so far. It's been extremely fun. If you like farming stuff, even if you didn't want to do this magic find, the build at its core is like extremely fun. It's really fast. I think you could scale the damage up really high. Man, it is just fucking blast. Like, I've been wanting to farm an ARPG like this for a while. Really easy too, it's not hard. The freeze, the dodge, the chest, they all kind of make it so you don't have to worry about anything. You notice I'm barely taking any damage, and when I do, my Thief's Torment just heals me back to full instantly. Oh yeah, another chest you could use for this build for sure would be Impulsa. I've actually really wanted to try it. I don't have shit to buy it, but yeah, I thought Impulsa would be badass as fuck for this build. Massive explosions. Yeah. You'd have to balance your resists with my... That's one of the things I've been struggling with. The resistances are kind of weird with this current iteration. I'm just going to end it here. But yeah. There's a ton of ways you could optimize this. What I landed on feels good as fuck. It all works together intricately. I'm not really suffering too much from the low life pool. Combs, Impulsa, only 2 chests at substitute, but like... I don't know. I like it. I like where it's at. I like where it's going. I think it can go higher and higher. I played a shit ton of it compared to my other characters. Haven't got a character past 76 for this league. I finally landed on a character for this league that's actually fun to play. One thing I forgot to mention is golems. In theory, I would want a cast from damage taken for my golems, because it is a pain in the fucking ass to keep 2 golems up at once. And that's like optimal considering I have the thing. But I'm lazy and it's a pain in the fucking ass. So if you're going to do this build, just fuck the golems. It's really not worth it. It's kind of a waste of your time. Obviously, optimize the damage is worth it, but it's too much of a fucking hassle. Yeah, that's the build. Thanks for watching. Any questions, comments, or concerns, just leave them down there. You know where to do. Peace.